This moment is a moment that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice in it and be glad. This this beautiful moment. We can take this opportunity just to go within. Take a deep breath. Just remembering that peace is here. And then taking this next moment, this present moment, to sink even deeper into the now. The beautiful thing about the now is it's always here. You don't have to seek for it. You don't have to try to grab onto it. But we can just remember. And maybe the mind starts to drift off. And we can just remember right now again. We can remember as many seeming times as it takes. Remembering this instant again and again. And this instant will always show you what is here. It will always reveal to you what is in your awareness. And whatever is in your awareness is in your awareness. No need to judge. When you don't need to judge what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, maybe you're ready to see something different about what you're feeling. Maybe you're ready to see a new angle around what you're experiencing. there's more around this that you could see. Something perhaps helpful. Then we just are open to what that more is, to what else is helpful for us to see. And again, being open to seeing what is here in this moment is a great gift. And that new perspective around this experience comes in. It's like an opening. An opening, breath of fresh air. And we all know what it's like to walk into a room that's a little stagnant. And then what do? We open the window, we open the door, put some fresh air in. And that's what we're doing here. We're just opening the door within. Letting the stagnant thoughts begin to move. Letting the freshness of spirit come in. It always feels better when we get the fresh air in. We've had a breath of fresh air here. A woman who felt called to come and just stay a night here. Someone we hadn't really connected with before. As those of you who've been here know, the roads getting here are a little tricky. And she was coming in the evening, and her maps didn't guide her to the easiest roads. So last night we're sitting here. She's supposed to be coming. Jenny's coming.
I'm coming. I have to share it because it's a total miracle.
Yeah, so she was supposed to come, I don't know, around 8 p.m. and we're sitting and messaging with her, and she gets a little lost. Talk to her again a little bit later. She's lost in a different place.
Yeah, we had given her like the best way, the only way to get here that it works, which is it's a bad road, but the other ones are like almost impossible. So she found one of the impossible ones that nobody else had found before. It was so steep. And then she came to an impossible point where there was a chain.
Maybe you can get the chain low so you can just drive over it.
I don't know.
She said no. But then
Then she sent me a little video. Yes, I can do it. And she pulled the whole pole out from the ground on one side of the chain. Now it works.
very determined.
Yeah, she did it. But then there was a passage of the road that was like too difficult. So apparently she called for help. And a man came running. He said, yeah, you can do it. And he guided her through the part. But then her car caught fire. She sees the fire behind her car, but then she sees her car is actually on fire. So
she's just like 5-minute drive from here.
Yeah. So she ended up, her car actually burnt up, like the engine. There was a fire in the front of her car. This man said, get some clothes out. Let's, stop the fire.
Tamp the fire down.
Yeah.
With the shirt or jacket.
Throwing water. But they were in the middle of nowhere, and dark. It had become dark. And she calls me, or I call her, because she never showed up. She was 8 minutes away, but this was like 25, 30 minutes later. So I call, and she says, my car is burnt. My car doesn't work anymore.
Car's on fire. Gosh.
So I drive over there. And yeah, there is her car still smoking, smelling. They have, thrown water, and this little Spanish family is standing around helping her, and she's called for help. So the firemen and police came, and
The
tow truck was like 12 or 15 people, and it was so beautiful. It was like everyone had such a pure heart. They were like angels. They were like, it was really beautiful. And she said to me, this is good. And I said to her, yeah, this is good. It literally felt good. It felt like such a strong sign from God that she was burning her past away. And she was so meant to come here.
It was just amazing.
Yeah. And then she slept here last night and spent the day here, and just so precious. She's not a Course in Miracles student, but her heart is so open, so ready. And she was so grateful. It was just precious. Yeah, it was the reason why she came here to Málaga, because she lives far away. And she had plans to go on a deep retreat where she lives. And she was so disappointed she couldn't do it. Then her new job sends her to Málaga, and her best friend, someone she really loves, he loves our teachings, and he's following the videos, and he had said to her, you can go and visit my friends. And that's why she showed up here. So Spirit literally, led her here instead of that retreat she wanted to go to. So she was just amazed. Yeah. So beautiful.
But yeah, that's how it could be, you know. This is like breath of fresh air. And we didn't know what really hurt at all. You know, we just messaged with her a little bit yesterday before she came, and it's just like this font of prayerfulness. I mean, again, she's very new to the course, but she just wants to know God. She just wants to know God.
Yeah, she said, I don't want to consume. I just want God. I don't want to eat. I don't need to consume. I just want God, and I don't need anything. That was literally her mindset, and she practices that.
So there's always a breath of fresh air if we're willing to open the door. Because that's kind of how it felt, you know. Someone we didn't know wanted to come, and we just checked in, and we'd say, yes, we felt to open the door.
I like that breath of fresh air spiritually, you know. Actually, here in South Spain, there is not such good air right now. It comes from Sahara Desert. It's these particles, you know, in the air, but that doesn't matter because the spiritual fresh air is always available. Who needs air? You know, who needs any other air? It's really, really good. Good to see you.
Maybe somebody wants to let some fresh air into something even already. You can just raise your hand and let us know. It's time to open that door.
Hi, everyone. I'm just having some thoughts about that. Well, I mean, the idea of the holy instant, it sounds good, but there's part of my mind that fears it because I've been conditioned to act a certain way, and I learned behaviors so I could function, and so there's a certain comfort in having a structure like that. And I'm thinking about, like, in terms of relationships, I got married in my 20s, and I was married about 40 years. For some reason, I like being lazy and doing nothing, and so I would just try to, create some kind of a structure, have some boundaries, and then I thought, then I didn't have to worry about it. But that didn't work very well as a strategy for relationship. Anyway, and this just, to kind of escape from anxiety, and then to be told that to live in the now and to forget about the past, it doesn't sound so great, from that perspective. And I realized that, that's the ego that has that fear. But I think I have to kind of be comfortable with a certain level of anxiety, at least at the stage that I'm at, because to just, try to live by guidance and to not rely on past learning, in a way to not be able to plan. It's a whole different way of being, and it's a constant. For me, I have to constantly make the decision to be open to guidance, I guess. And anyway, I'm not conscious of being any great, pain at the moment. And I'm okay. I'm kind of accepting my awkward, discomfort as that's just where the state I'm in. I have thoughts about, maybe I want to be in a, relationship, intimate relationship with someone, and all I have is the conditioning, as far as, behavior. I have conditioning I had as a teenager and getting married in my 20s, and I have, and all that seems not really very appropriate, now. And
Yeah,
I-
what a beautiful opportunity.
yeah,
I hear you. Yeah. This is
tell me
good.
more. Why is it good?
Why is it good? Yeah. This is like you're almost like forced or compelled to practice being present because
Yeah.
the past tools that the self-concept used, like you say, you realize that won't work. And this is something you want relationships. So you have to let spirit use you, use
Mhm.
your personality, use your time and your mind, to practice being present. And that's beautiful. And like you said, that's scary. It takes some effort, seemingly to practice that. And yeah, scary it can be to the part of the mind that is not used to it. But so good.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately good. I'm used, I was conditioned to think that I was in control of my life, or that I needed to, force things to happen, because, no one else is going to take care of me. And so anyway, that turns out to be a wrong assumption, I guess. And
I just have to say, that if you kind of have this dream of being in a relationship, but you're seeing that kind of desire for holding on to a certain way of being isn't really gonna work with that. And it just makes me think of this analogy of, like, if your dream is to go skydiving, the old conditioning is like holding on to the railing in the plane. Well, you obviously can't hold on to that handlebar in the plane if you want to go skydiving. You have to let go. You have to kind of let go and step into something different, even if there's some fear, if it's what you want.
yeah, I don't really know what I want exactly. I mean, because I have to, being open, I can't have too much of an idea. I can't just go by social norms and kind of see what's expected. I have to just see what feels good, I guess, in the moment.
Yeah. Being present and practicing the holy instance. That's it. And like you said, you don't really know what you want. That's the truth, So practicing being present in the holy instant, you're going to draw forth what you truly want. You're going to find out what you truly want.
Okay. Thank you for
Yeah.
listening.
Yeah. And that's going to be so beautiful, because that's the pureness from within is attracting pureness, purity. So, yeah. Yeah, thanks for sharing and reminding us all of that practice of becoming present and not using past learning and past tools. That's why it's called an undoing. Who else would like to share?
Thank you for sharing the this miracle. Oh my God. It just it's so beautiful. It just blown my mind, especially like this person is not a Course in Miracle, you know.
She actually, I asked her, so have you read the course? She said, no, I only saw some of your videos, she said. And then I went to work and the person I work with just talk and talk and talk. And I just said in my mind, salvation comes from my holy self. Salvation comes from my holy self because I heard it in your video, she said. So she is practicing.
Yeah, it's just mind-blowing. That's you know, the power of love. That's all I have to say, you know. She got the guidance and it's so beautiful. It really touched me. I really feel like it's she touched my heart, you know, like it's and I've done crazy thing like this, so she just like I'm laughing because I'm seeing myself in the same you know, same situation, and also that I was not a Course in Miracle, and then I was atheist also. Like I'm just realizing how well how God is powerful, like it, but it's God Almighty, you know, there's only God, there's only the power of God. That's all there is. That's us that is confused, you know, that we think there's an ego.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really appreciative to, you know, to have all these, like all of you here, you have given me so much. And I'm so thankful.
So beautiful, Patricia.
Mm.
Yeah.
And you're so giving. You're so with your transparency.
Yeah, and thank you for being in my life. You know, it's funny, like we don't have words to. I know that you know what I'm talking about, but I wish I can find some words to express it. It seems like love is not enough.
We feel it.
It's beyond language.
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
beyond language. Anyway, love you, and I'm gonna give you some heart. I'll do it manually, so.
Mm. Well, I have a course quote to share with you guys tonight, but maybe someone wants to share right now. I can share that after. Mm. Okay. Yeah.
Hi. It's on a little bit of a very deep inward journey for a while there, and I'm just so moved and grateful to be back and to see all of you guys. And yeah, I think I just really want to kind of same thing as Patricia, is to just share my gratitude for everyone. It is beyond words. That's kind of been what's going on in the past week or so, is just like the words are just falling away. I have no way to describe how grateful I am. And it's very interesting too, like the point where I'm at, where I'm starting to kind of see the world and the care, like, and us in the world as symbols. And where I once confused the symbols as there is like a will apart from God's, like that chick's car catching on fire. If you look at it from a world's perspective, it's like, you know, like that's bad and all that kind of stuff. But I'm starting to see that like it's beautiful symbols. But I was kind of missing the point, really. And to me, I was taking it as proof that there is like evil, I guess, or an ego, or like just sort of a dark force that kind of weaves its way through things. Like, look, I blew up your car, ha ha ha, you're not going to make it there. Like, just this total misunderstanding of that. And just to have these meetings and to have you guys, especially just clearing up symbols, because I've heard you so many times take something that would be translated as like bad or negative, and you go, oh, isn't that wonderful? And I'm like, man, and I have been in such deep prayer for months about that. Like, how? Like, I want to see how you see, because your attitude is like, you know, I'm not quite there, but I'm open to seeing things the way you guys seem to see it, because obviously I just have misunderstood something. And then that's just led to, there is only the will of God. I just misunderstood. It's all just a misunderstanding. Yeah, it's not this giant, complicated good versus evil. It's like, no, there is no evil. You just don't know how to interpret the symbols. So let me help you. Yeah.
So there is only one, you know, helpful interpretation of everything. And that's exactly what you're talking about. And so Lydia, the girl who came, she was like, she said, yeah, I've been sitting in meditation a lot and thought I was facing the fear of death. She said, I have had this fear of death. And I was like, yeah, I faced the fear of death. I'm not afraid of death. But she was sitting in her burning car. And she said, I was afraid of death. She was like, I faced the fear of death then, you know.
Yeah.
And then she also said, I didn't share that earlier, because all those people came and it was this kind of very sweet vibe, like all these firemen and police, they were so helpful, and they didn't know how to get to the place because it was such a weird location out in nowhere. But she said, never has so many people come just for me. She was, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really just reflecting too on like my experience through life. I have never turned around and there hasn't been someone soft to catch me. Every single time. Not once have I ever been through anything alone. Not only like in the unseen, who I can't see helping me, but it's just, yeah, I'm speechless. Just every time I turn around, there's a soft brother or sister there to say, no, you're good. It's okay. I love you, and it doesn't matter what you think you've done. Ever. Not once have I turned around and been met with, yeah, you're right, you suck. Not once.
So beautiful. I think you shared something about some miracle that happened just a few days ago at work. Do something with your job.
Oh,
Did
yeah. Yeah. So like the day before that happened, I was sitting on the porch and like Christ was just clear as a bell, like almost more clear than even if somebody were sitting in front of me, just explaining how it's time to let Anna go and to accept that everyone is the Christ and that you are the perfect holy child of God, same as everybody else, and it's really just time for you to let that go, you know. And I was just like, okay, yep, absolutely. And then I went to bed and I woke up in the morning and I felt so grumpy and just like totally engrossed in my personality. It's like I almost watched myself wake up and attach myself to it. And I was just like, ugh. So I go to work and I work as a housekeeper. So I have like this big cart with like brooms and cleaning supplies and stuff on it. And what's sitting there is a bag with my favorite candy in it and a lotion. And I looked at the scent of the lotion and it was frankincense and myrrh. And that just flipped my day right back around. I was like, oh my God. Okay. Okay. You got me. I didn't even know they made hand lotion in that scent. Like, it's so cute. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, baby Jesus. So that
Hi.
Right?
Feels like I'm in the middle of taking a much younger version of seemingly me out of the grave. There was something coming up, very specific memories around the rape when I was 20. And suddenly it was so clear in my mind, dead and buried. And I saw this tombstone in my mind. That's where I put that girl, that young woman. Ever since, it just feels like this beautiful. We actually watched The Shack. We were in the middle of the film The Shack. And I just saw where he takes out and put the flowers around this little baby girl. It was exactly the same thing I felt. It was just like so, this synchronicity was so amazing. Like I just took that young woman out of that grave where I put her, and just went through a lot of forgiveness. Yeah, it was just really beautiful. Yeah.
When you did this, you were saying how powerful it was. Did you notice the lightning both over at that place and at our place at the same time? It was just lighting up.
Yeah. So I removed the tombstone there and let her out. It's just beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
love you so much. This is chapter 14, section 7. Light cannot enter darkness when a mind believes in darkness and will not let it go. Truth does not struggle against ignorance, and love does not attack fear. What needs no protection does not defend itself. Defense is of your making. God knows it not. Defenses, like everything you made, must be gently turned to your own good. Translated by the Holy Spirit from means of self-destruction to means of preservation and release. Do not delay in your return to peace by wondering how he can fulfill what God has given him to do. You are not asked to do mighty tasks yourself. You're merely asked to do the little he suggests you do, trusting him only to the small extent of believing that if he asks it, you can do it. You will see how easily all that he asks can be accomplished.
Like somewhere else it says, can it be difficult to do what the Spirit asks you to do, and it is he who does it through you.
I love this next part too. The Holy Spirit asks of you but this: bring to him every secret you have locked away from him. Open every door to him and bid him enter the darkness and lighten it away. At your request, he enters gladly. He brings the light to darkness if you make the darkness open to him. But what you hide, he cannot look upon. He sees for you, and unless you look with him, he cannot see. The vision of Christ is not for him alone, but for him with you. Bring therefore all your dark and secret thoughts to him, and look upon them with him. He holds the light, and you the darkness. They cannot coexist when both of you look together on them. His judgment must prevail, but he will give it to you as you join your perception to his. A number of places in the course where you could say, like, it gives you the whole thing, just like in a paragraph or two. Rumble of thunder here. Wanted us to know that.
Sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, I really loved what you read. Experience, you do it together with the Holy Spirit, shining the light. You're not asked to do mighty tasks yourself. You're merely asked to do the little he suggests that you do, trusting him only to the small extent of believing that if he asks it, you can do it. It must be so. God is God, right? And
Yep. It reminds me of our friend from last night. She was driving on all these roads, and she said, the roads got smaller and smaller, and steeper and steeper, and windier. And she said, I just kept praying to God. I kept praying to God. And God kept me going. Yeah, and brought her through the whole experience. And that nothing was wrong. It was just the journey here.
And the invitation is so strong from God that we have such an open mind. It's okay, it's possible, and it's all good to have an open mind. Like the first lines you were reading, light cannot enter darkness when a mind believes in darkness and will not let it go. God will never force himself on, Truth does not struggle against ignorance, and love does not attack fear. What needs no protection does not defend itself. We don't have to be fearful, we can have an open mind. And truth can enter. We can start by trusting that Spirit will give us exactly what we need for our undoing, for what we need to learn or unlearn. We don't have to figure it out or worry about it. We try to skip steps. He will give us what we need for our next step. And we could probably trust a bit more that whatever that is actually what's happening in her life. Usually the ego mind says that something else should happen. It should be different. But with spirit and with trust, whatever is happening is what we need for our current healing and undoing. And sometimes it may not feel easy, but then to have the prayer, let me see this clearly, or help me through this healing.
And take your hand, put it with you. And we'll see you all again soon.